What is up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Don't forget to click subscribe, turn on your notifications. We're here to talk about the commitment of Danny Okoye. Very close, closer and closer to the commitment date. As you can see there on the bottom of the screen, Wednesday at 6:30, Core Society in Bixby. We will have someone in attendance representing the Sooner Surge to watch that commitment. We'll bring you information as we get it up to date and live there at the Core Society. Danny Okoye, another member possibly of the power line, guys. This could be a very huge get for Chavis and company.
Yeah, you got to expect Danny Okoye, 6:30 Wednesday night. It should be official that he's a Sooner. When we talked to him back in late July before the party at the Palace, and I talked to him following that, it was pretty clear that the game day visits were what was going to determine this recruitment. He was going to want to see all these game day atmospheres. He had 3 scheduled. He had OU, Texas, Tennessee scheduled. Took the OU one, and the other 2 did not happen. Texas was scheduled for this past weekend. Danny was not there. He was at, what was it, Chicken and the Wolf, Jay? With the C-Ref post game. Obviously not in Austin, Texas to watch them play Wyoming. It seems like that Oklahoma visit did everything he wanted, checked off every single box and more, so much so that he moved his commitment off a month and a half and canceled the other visits. Not going to be taking those. So would have to expect Danny Okoye is going to be a Sooner.
Yeah, and this is a recruitment that back in March to late April, Oklahoma was not even thought of to be in the conversation, right? Because he wasn't even really considering Oklahoma, and he got the visit for the spring game, I believe. And really,
He visited, I think it was mid-May.
Okay.
An unofficial, it was just him and Chavis. That was kind of when the whole Zadavian Sims thing was going down.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Todd Bates was not around for that. It was really just him and Chavis, and that was about it on campus.
Yeah, but he was talking about, I believe, just what Oklahoma had done. And if you hear him talk about Oklahoma, he talks about so much the improvement, the jump he's seen from the defense. And that's what really got him interested as he started to see more and more how they were going to perform on the field. That's kind of what he was waiting on to see. With Oklahoma, they've shown it. They've improved defensively. They're top 10 in defense this year. So an Oklahoma team defensively has taken a major jump. And Okoye, he's the number 1 player in the state of Oklahoma, and you need to keep the top players in the state home at the University of Oklahoma. And we've seen Brent Venables and staff start to do that, where they started to recruit the in-state kids very hard.
I think, kids can see. I mean, I know it's 18-year-old, but, you can watch film from last year, right? And you can see that OU was pretty bad defensively, but you can also look at that and say, what kind of talent did they have there in certain positions, right? And then you can go on visits and you can be at a game atmosphere and you can be in the locker room pregame or whatever, and you can hear the coaches coaching people up, and if you want to play there. I mean, you can see, okay, these guys know what they're talking about, or they're full of it, right? I mean, players, it's a genuine thing you can see when you're in the heat of the moment at a game day. Like you said, Hunter, he wanted to see the game day atmosphere. I think it's more of not as much about the fan atmosphere as it is about the atmosphere with the coaches and the game routine and how he can see that and visualize it for when he's there. Yeah, and I think Chavis and them, the way they coach, I think is going to be just right up Danny's alley.
Yeah, with Danny, it was really a combination of both. He wanted to see Chavis, Bates, Coach Venables, how they handle everything. But the game day traditions mattered to him. I believe it was his first OU game. I could be wrong on that. He might have came to a game over the past few years of his recruitment, but seeing, like he told me, when they yell like Sooners after the national anthem, he was like, that's really cool. He's like, just everyone was loud, and if you weren't loud, people looked at you funny, is what he told me. So to see all the the fans, just game day traditions. OU has a lot of them. The Walk of Champions, that's one of the more predominant ones before the game. Seeing all the people lined up for that, seeing how the players are locked in, and then seeing the coaches act really the same as they act on a visit, like for a spring visit. Like Coach Chavis is the same person when you see him on Friday night at your game, like what happened with Danny the night before, when you see him in the spring when it's just you and him. And then when you see him on a game day, he's the same energetic coach.
Well, another thing I think is a big deal is when you go and you're watching this team this year and you see PJ out there rushing the passer as a true freshman, there's no doubt in his mind he's thinking, man, they're playing a lot of guys. I can play next year. I'm good enough. He's a confident guy. He's not scared of anybody, and he probably looks out there and says, hey, if PJ's out here playing, I'm going to be playing as a freshman.
Yeah, Danny was very well aware that the game he was in attendance for, OU Arkansas State, 89 players appeared in that game. He knew that. He said that's kind of stuck out to him, like just the amount of rotation that was taking place, especially among the defensive line.
Yeah, and there's some things that stand out to me. One thing is, a couple weeks ago after the SMU game, there was the tweet, and everyone assumed that might have been the Texas beating Bama, but I really think that very well could have been the fact that OU's defense shut down SMU, and he was very impressed by it based on things he said. The second thing is when Hunter talked about the Okoye-Chavis relationship beginning in May, and I just think that bond from those two guys is so huge, and you can't over exaggerate that relationship, because I think it is, if not the reason, it's one of the top reasons, because of that one relationship right there. Chavis has kind of been his guy, and I think that's a big deal. And then the last thing I'll say about Okoye is what OU would be getting in this guy. I have not been shy or reserved about my description and my ceiling for Danny Okoye. I'm going to stick to what I've said. You watch him in the games he plays in, his athleticism, he does things that are freakish. And I just think that this guy's got a chance to be a very special talent at the University of Oklahoma and cement his name in one of the greats on that D line, guys, on that edge.
And if you haven't watched Okoye play, on the post-game show Saturday, the quote that made the rounds whenever he was asked about if the SEC was important to him, the SEC is the most violent conference, and I like violence. I like violence. That sounds like a Miguel Chavis subliminals guy written all over it. He's not going to duck the smoke. He doesn't care who you are. He's going to come at you 100%. He's going to play hard, and he's going to play for his teammates, and he's going to wear that OU he's going to wear the OU on his chest proudly if he does commit there on Wednesday.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. He told me he's a high motor guy, seeing like the energy. Like he said, he was ready to go out there on that visit and play. He was like seeing everyone be so hyped up for one cause. It's like it gets him hyped up. And back to what Jeremy said on him and Chavis. Chavis could not have handled this visit better than he did. The fact that he went Friday night to watch Danny play, I think it was Metro Christian in Tulsa, before an 11 a.m. kick, that meant a whole lot to Danny, because he told him, he was like, the game's at 11 tomorrow. Like, what are you doing here? And he's like, it doesn't matter. I'm here to see you. I'm here to support you. I'm here to recruit you. I'm here for you, Danny. Like, and that's what matters to him. Relationships matter to Danny Okoye. And Chavis, it's just, Jackson said it. Those two are so much personality-wise like each other. Like two peas in the pod, honestly. Like, between those two, with the energy that they bring to the table, just enthusiasm about the sport, the team, and just everything involved with it.
Yeah, I'm ready to get this one behind us. It's coming up soon, and hopefully he does commit to Oklahoma, like you said. but that would pretty much, I think, close out the power line. And so,
Maybe.
unless things change, I'm not going to say. I guess I shouldn't say close it out, but officially not yet. But everyone's committed to schools at that time, basically.
Yeah, with Danny Okoye, if he commits to the Sooners, like we all here think that that's going to happen Wednesday night, be the fourth guy that trains with Coach Christian Chief Littlehead. The others being David Stone, that's the big name, and then Burgeon Kaiser up in Edmond, Santa Fe, and then Ace Hodges. Those are two PWOs. He's from Cassidy in the Oklahoma City area. So maybe that means somebody else is coming with him. I don't know. He's been on campus quite a bit. He's been on their visits with them as they've been making their way to Norman for game days. So it's something to watch for when you have all these elite defensive linemen in the state of Oklahoma training with one person, and then they all end up going to the same school.
Yeah, and the excitement around Norman, guys, if Okoye is to commit, and one thing you can take to the bank now as Sooner fans with this staff is commitments mean, I say this every time, commitments mean a much bigger deal when they're to the University of Oklahoma with BV's policy and things. And this would be a great get. And guys, you talked about the charisma and the energy of Danny Okoye alongside the charisma and energy of guys like David Stone and Adabare, all of those guys. Can you imagine just the fun and the excitement and the energy that is now going to be talked about the Sooner defense? It's been a long time waiting, guys. And Wednesday night, we're going to find out if they can land Danny Okoye, 6:30. Make sure you're tuned into the Sooner Surge and what's going on here. Subscribe to our channel. We will make sure we're covering everything OU sports, and especially this commitment of Danny Okoye, possibly another great addition to the power line. Till next time, guys. Boomer.